Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Daniel, and today I want to dive in to Xbox, a brand that's been a cornerstone of gaming for over 2 decades, but is now facing some serious turbulence. From shiny new hardware reveals to gut punching layoffs and game cancellations, Microsoft's gaming division is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. So, what's going on with Xbox? Is it still a vital part of the gaming landscape, or is it losing its soul in a chase for profits? And how does it stack up against Japanese giants like PlayStation and Nintendo, who seem to approach gaming with a different kind of respect? Let's unpack this, starting with the latest news. Over the past few weeks, Xbox has been on a roller coaster of highs and lows. Let's start with the hardware. In June 2025, Microsoft dropped a bombshell at the Xbox Game Showcase, announcing a partnership with Asus for the ROG Ally X, an Xbox-branded handheld PC with native Game Pass support. This move signals Microsoft's pivot away from building their own handheld console, instead leaning on third-party hardware to expand the Xbox ecosystem. It's a bold step, especially in a market where the Nintendo Switch 2 is reportedly seeing massive demand in Japan with over 2.2 million pre-order applications. But it also raises questions. Is Xbox giving up on traditional console hardware? A former Microsoft producer recently called Xbox hardware dead, and with major exclusives like Sea of Thieves and Gears of War going multi-platform, it's hard to argue otherwise. Now, the darker side of the news, in early July 2025, Microsoft announced a massive round of layoffs, around 9,000 jobs cut across the company, with a significant chunk hitting the Xbox division. This is the fourth wave of layoffs in 18 months, following cuts of 1,900 in January 2024, 650 in September 2024, and earlier rounds this year. Studios like The Initiative, which was working on a Perfect Dark reboot, have been completely shuttered. Rare's long-in-development Everwild, announced back in 2019, was cancelled, as was an unannounced MMO codenamed Blackbird from ZeniMax Online Studios. Even Blizzard's mobile game Warcraft Rumble is winding down. These cuts have hit hard, with developers like Chris Lynn, a senior producer at ZeniMax, calling it one of the biggest disappointments of his 35-year career. Xbox boss Phil Spencer has tried to spin this positively, claiming in a memo that the Xbox platform, hardware, and gaming roadmap have never looked stronger. But with studios closing, games canceled, and developers like Alec Neustradter now at the Pokemon Company calling the industry's incentives misaligned, it's tough to buy the optimism. Posts on X echo this frustration, with fans like Snap Blast Play saying they've never felt less valued as an Xbox console player. The sentiment is clear. Xbox is pivoting away from its core fan base toward a broader, less console-focused market. To understand where Xbox is now, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Back in 2001, Microsoft burst onto the gaming scene with the original Xbox, a hulking black box that aimed to challenge Sony's PlayStation 2 and Nintendo's GameCube. It was a risky move for a software company, but Halo Combat Evolved became a cultural phenomenon, proving Xbox could compete. The Xbox 360 in 2005 solidified Microsoft's place with hits like Gears of War and a robust Xbox Live service that redefined online console gaming. Sure, the Red Ring of Death was a nightmare, but the 360 era was Xbox's golden age, often neck and neck with the PlayStation 3. Then came the Xbox One in 2013, and things got messy. A focus on TV integration and an always online DRM policy sparked massive backlash, giving Sony's PS4 a huge lead. Microsoft spent years playing catch-up, but they doubled down with Game Pass in 2017, a revolutionary subscription service, and massive acquisitions like ZeniMax Media for $7.5 billion in 2021 and Activision Blizzard for $69 billion in 2023. These moves made Xbox a powerhouse in content, but recent layoffs and cancellations suggest they're struggling to manage this empire. So, is Xbox still important in today's gaming market? The numbers tell a mixed story. The Xbox Series X and S have been consistently outsold by Sony's PS5 over 2 console generations, with Nintendo's Switch dominating thanks to its hybrid design and family-friendly appeal. Microsoft's pivot to a platform-agnostic strategy, putting games on PC, PlayStation, and even handhelds like the ROG Ally X, shows they're less interested in console wars and more focused on services like Game Pass. With Microsoft reporting an 8% increase in Xbox content and services revenue in 2025, this strategy is paying off financially, even if Game Pass subscriber growth has reportedly plateaued. But here's the rub. This focus on profit over passion is alienating developers and fans. The cancellation of ambitious projects like The Perfect Dark and Everwild, alongside studio closures, feels like a betrayal of Xbox's legacy as a champion of bold, creative games. Developers are calling it a colossal waste of talent, and fans on Xbox are questioning Microsoft's commitment to gaming as an art form. Compare that to Sony and Nintendo, who, while not perfect, seem to prioritize gaming's creative soul. Let's talk about Japan, where gaming isn't just a business, it's a cultural institution. Companies like Sony and Nintendo, rooted in Japan's rich tradition of craftsmanship, treat games as an art form akin to film or literature. Nintendo's dedication to polished, timeless experiences like The Legend of Zelda or Super Mario, and Sony's investment in narrative-driven blockbusters like The Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima reflect a deep respect for gaming as entertainment and expression. Japan's gaming culture, from arcades to massive events like Tokyo Game Show, celebrate creativity and community in a way that's hard to quantify. Xbox, by contrast, feels increasingly like a corporate machine. Microsoft's recent layoffs and cancellations prioritize agility and effectiveness, corporate buzzwords that clash with the passion-driven ethos of gaming. While Sony and Nintendo aren't immune to profit motives, their Japanese roots seem to anchor them in a philosophy that values the player experience over pure financial metrics. Posts on X highlight this disconnect, with users like Juan Conda Juan pointing out Xbox's string of missteps. From failed launches like Starfield's DLC to porting games to PlayStation, diluting the Xbox brand's identity. So where does Xbox go from here? The brand's history shows it's capable of greatness, from Halo's cultural impact to Game Pass's innovation, but the recent layoffs, studio closures, and game cancellations paint a picture of a company prioritizing short-term profits over long-term creativity. While Microsoft's stock rose 2% after the layoffs, the cost to its reputation and developer morale is steep. Compared to Sony and Nintendo, Xbox feels like it's losing touch with gaming's artistic heart, leaning too heavily on a service-driven, platform-agnostic future. Still, there's hope. Games showcased at the June 2025 Xbox Game Showcase, like The Outer Worlds 2, are reportedly safe from cancellation, and the indie scene continues to thrive on Game Pass. Maybe Xbox can rediscover its soul by balancing innovation with respect for the art of gaming. What do you think? Is Xbox still vital to gaming, or are they drifting too far from what made them special? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more videos just like this.